again, everybody. This is Amorgin, and you're very welcome back to another episode of Star Trek Fleet Command, and a direct follow-on, guys, from yesterday's video on the mission walkthrough, this swarm event, this threat from beyond. Like we were saying yesterday, guys, a lot of disgruntlement out there, a variety of different complaints going on. We've got Actas 1 to follow on there in a short while. We'll hopefully get through some of these pretty quickly. Right now we're doing Silent Partners. And quite long-winded missions here, guys. I've cooled off a little bit since yesterday. I've been looking at the good and I've been looking at the bad, and I've been keeping an ear to the ground in the community and what people are saying, and we'll come back to some of that as well in a wee moment. Choosing rewards here, guys. I went for the officer tokens. Really up to yourself what stands out for you in such a situation. I can't tell you what to pick. I can only tell you what I can pick. But we're following on with these missions here, guys, and we're on to Silent Partners. Skipping through these. Now, that mission, set of missions originally showed there, I believe, at 0 out of 3, and I went through them, and then it popped up to 2 out of 6 once I had 2 of them completed. So I don't know if it's intended like that. Maybe it's a feature, a bug, a feature bug. I don't know. But yeah, I've reached this point in this mission storyline, guys, where I have to kill 30 hostiles again. A lot of giving out there about this. I don't mind the grind. I don't mind grinding on the hostiles and getting the rewards out of it. But right now, with the way the events are, we might take a peek at that later on as well. Right now, the way the events are, instead of grinding out these missions, killing all of these hostiles, wandering around, clicking on little yellow icons and all of that, I could be doing this event. My time's getting taken up. Following through these, clicking through these obligatory storylines when I could be doing the event. There's a question mark right now for me. Are these missions worth completing at the expense of losing time on the event? We've got a week on the PvE event. We've got a week on the mining acquisition event, the Franklin acquisition mining event, and I'm doing alright in the mining because, of course, that's a passive way of grinding out your points. But this PvE, guys, hitting those targets for me, pretty high targets. We'll take a look at that in a wee while as well, probably in more detail. But not sure if following through these mission storylines are really worth it, so I'm going to try and rush through it. So once again, forgive me if some of this feels like it's squashed together. And once again, keep an eye out on what I'm doing on screen, what I'm clicking on, what systems I'm in, and that kind of stuff. I have my my Lost Worlds of Time and Space ready to collect. Hopefully we'll not let that interfere, and we'll follow through with this. So guys, we're moving to do a little bit on this data snare mission and meet Becklan. This Centurion should be almost there. A wee bit of a bug with the timer there, perhaps. But we move on. So, guys, I'm looking at some of the chat that's going on Discord and the various different forums, and I've been chatting to a few guys in my alliance, and some of the guys have finished the event already. We'll take a look at that in a wee moment. We'll take a wee quick look back into the event in a moment and how to acquire the blueprints for the USS Franklin. Some people have tiered it up. Quite a hefty cost in tearing it up, I believe. There's been a little bit of misinformation out there in terms of the ships that you need to kill in the PvE event. We'll take a look at that in a moment as well. Just set this ship to go with Hadley on the bridge, guys, to improve the warp speed. And like I said yesterday, we've quite lengthy missions here that are taking up a lot of time, and like I mentioned there a wee while earlier, not very happy because this is eaten into the time that I could do the PvE. So we'll jump in here and I'll explain a little bit what I'm talking about. So Franklin Acquisition PvE, I said this yesterday, guys, I'm going to repeat it again. Attack hostiles of the various different levels. You'll have perhaps a different level of hostile to attack, but this is any hostile, guys. This is not the swarm hostiles, this is any hostile, and by killing those hostiles and reaching these targets, you will get blueprints for the Franklin, and some resources there as well that are not to be scoffed at, I suppose. Now 7,200 is quite a task. I've got little over 6.5 days to do that. I'm working away on these missions, guys, and I'm wondering how long they're going to take. I want to get these videos out in sequence, not missing anything if I can help it. I'm currently doing the mining event, and I'm doing alright in that. Few pests knocking me off mines, but able to reclaim them. So doing alright in that. The targets that we're looking to meet there are similar to the other mining event targets that we would have got, except we have almost a week to do that. That's good time to be able to complete the mining event. So all in all, there's 45 blueprints for the Franklin there. Pretty confident that I should be able to get that before the 6 days are up. The PvE, however, is a very different story, because all of this time spent running through silly missions, clicking on yellow icons all around the place, is taking up time I could be doing the PvE. And an interesting discussion with one of the Alliance guys, just about how the materials that you get for rewards from these missions, you won't need them until after you get the ship. Some of the discussion on Discord is saying that when this event is over, if you haven't got the ship, you'll be waiting until the next time around. So the advice right now, guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to focus on the PvE event. Try to hit that target, grind that out for the next 6 days. Try to get my 45 blueprints from this to get that ship, and then focus on the missions. So for the purposes of today's mission, I'll run through a few extra. I'll get this data snare completed. Maybe follow through with one or two others. But if you guys can forgive me, I'll come back to the complete walkthrough of these missions once I get a bit of progress done on that PvE event, which probably means, guys, that I'll do shorter snapshot videos on this, so there'll be a few more of them. So the walkthrough will probably be a little mini series unto itself for these missions. And I'll try to record a few clips of me progressing the missions in between the time that I'm grinding on that PvE event. So if any of you guys have an opinion on that, certainly leave your thoughts below in a comment. Join me on Discord, come in and talk to us about it. I think it's a fair point. The materials to upgrade the ship can wait, because these swarm are going to be here, and the missions are going to be here after the 6 days are up. So I think it makes sense. And we have a battleship to kill here. So this Centurion would be much better spent for me, the time spent killing level 32 hostiles for 20 points a pop. Any hostile. So I'll probably go up and kill in Romulan space. I may do a quick video on that. I know I promised Billy that we catch up video at some point, just on how the event is going. So the next one, guys, might be dealing with that. If I can get a hold of Billy before the weekend, we might do it with Billy. But I'll certainly do a wee snapshot at some point of how I'm getting on with the event. You've seen there how I'm getting on with the mining one. So there's a right few of these, guys. What I'll suggest to you, if you're in a hurry, don't be waiting on me. If you're in a hurry, go and join LCARS. I'll leave the link again below in the description. Check that out. The guys have got the information on the missions and different things there. Upgrade costs for the Franklin and all of that, I think. And one of the things I'm seeing a little bit of giving out about are the PvE levels. And again, maybe not quite misinformation, but maybe some misunderstanding about what has actually been announced. They did say we should feel like we can hold Scopely to account for this, and I know some people are going to laugh at that and go, how would you hold them to account, to rely on to themselves and all of this kind of thing. But they've made the announcement, guys, that this PvE changes, PvP changes, the PvP levels and the changes to the PvP levels, that it's a work in progress, that they're going to tweak it. They're going to check to see how it goes for the foreseeable future. They have listened to the calls to change the PvP level, because let's be real here, we're not going to keep everybody happy. Some people wanted the PvP levels changed. I was one of the ones called for it. So again, like the video I done before, guys, if in doubt, blame me. The reality is, though, that there was a lot of players who felt that a change to the PvP levels was necessary, and so it happened. We called for it and it happened. But rather than it being a hard and fast decision that's been taken, the guys, in fairness, have said we're going to try this change, we're going to trial this, and we're going to see how it goes and tweak it if it's not working. That's what we want to hear from Scopely. We don't want to hear, here we've dumped this event on you and we didn't really test it and tell you anything about it and we broke the game in the process. That's not what we want. What we do want is announcements saying, we're trying this out. We've listened to the community. We're going to try it out. We'll tinker about with it and we'll see how it goes. I'm quite happy with that. You guys leave your thoughts below. Like I say, join me on Discord. The link will be in the banner. And to the power of editing, we'll come back and we'll start the next sequence of missions and see how long they're looking like they're going to take. So guys, my ship's arrived. Like I say, I'm going to take a quick break from the pure lineage of these missions to focus on the event. That set of missions was just completed there. Now people are asking about the missions predatory and containment protocols. I'm just going to explore a little bit of that in a moment. There's the data snare complete. And we'll skip through these. And there's infestation. So these old cyberpathic interfaces used to progress through missions. So this is either presumably later in this storyline or in the next set of mission storylines. So yesterday I said don't follow two trails of breadcrumbs, essentially, guys. This is where the other mission storyline leads you. It leads you to act as one, the one I've been ignoring and saying I'm doing one first. I've done the one that started in Ilona first, right? But this is the one that starts in Naiwillan. It's a trail of breadcrumbs, guys. It leads you to here so that you can go to Gorvax then and pick up the missions in Gorvax. There's predatory, and I need to complete containment protocol, so I can't even collect that mission. That was an error on my part yesterday. I can't even collect that mission until I have containment protocol completed, and containment protocol will be the last in the mission line that I'm doing currently. So I wouldn't be able to pick those up anyway, but just for some people there, just they can get very confused when you have a number of different trails or breadcrumbs overlapping. But that's the way that works, guys. You finish the first set of storylines in that start in Alona, and then you move over to this system in Niawillan and do that. Now, we also seen there that there's been a lot of giving out about people not being able to pick up this mission because the R&D department isn't level 26. Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately, guys. I wish there was. We can call for Scopely to lower the requirement for that. I don't know why that requirement's in there. I'll only know, I suppose, when I complete those missions and see what I'm dealing with. It's probably the level tier of rewards that you get from them or something, that they're aimed at high level 20s, 30s, that kind of thing. We'll see. But right now, I'm going to skip back to where the current storyline is with Infestation. There's a bunch in this. No need for the half of them. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections to this, guys. Like I say, a trail of breadcrumbs. There's another bunch of these to do. So I'm going to record the start and the end of them, guys, if that's alright with yous. Forgive me for this. I'm not going to do the full detailed footage from this point forward, to save you having to sit and watch repetitive stuff that you're going to be doing yourselves. I'll show you the start and end points of the missions. If you guys are happy enough to follow the trail of breadcrumbs yourselves, it shouldn't be too difficult. If you're following one linear storyline mission, just keep at that. I'll record the start and the end and try to get through them and mash together a few clips and show you how I pick up the ones in Niawillan then once I get containment protocols finished. So I'm going to let this ship do its thing and arrive. Let's keep an eye on the PvP levels thing, guys. Certainly lobbying Scopely about changes is the way to go. I'm quite happy to take the messages to them, but I'm maybe not the person that's going to be listened to most. But if you're leaving your comments below, you're joining us on Discord, it all strengthens the hand, I guess. But for now, guys, the advice is focus on the Franklin acquisition events. Eat into those targets as much as you can, get as many blueprints as you can, and aim for getting this before this event is over, rather than flying around the galaxy chasing down these yellow exclamation marks. Time enough to do that, but quite happy, guys, to hear your feedback if you've finished them already or advanced further than where I'm at. If there's any value to doing this and delaying the PvE event, I'd love to hear why. I'd love to hear a rationale behind that if there is an argument in that way. So until then, guys, I'm going to sign off. Look after yourselves and look after each other as always, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one. Cheers.